Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. On today's episode, we're going to go over the rash of transactions the Sharks had as they, more people on IR, calling people up from the Barracuda, sending people back down. So we'll cover all the transactions and get you guys ready for the Sharks-Canucks game and what looks like a plethora of goals is coming in this game. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked on Sharks.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin, San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked on Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. That way you know whenever a new episode drops. Spoiler, they usually drop on YouTube first. But voice is, getting better. We're still day to day right now, but it is getting better. You made it through yesterday's episode or Monday night's episode. Appreciate it. I enjoyed your voices tanking for Connor Bedard comment on YouTube. It made me laugh a lot. So, but Sharks, busy day in the transaction department as they had their first practice day after getting home. All right, let's start. Aaron Dell sent back down to the Barracuda. So remember, he was on an emergency loan. So I think if they had kept him much longer, they would have to fully recall him. And then therefore he'd have to be subject to waivers to go back through. Since he was on emergency recall, send him back down. They corresponding moves. They brought up CJ Suess and Eetu Mäkiniemi. So Mäkiniemi will be the backup for Kaapo Kähkönen when the Sharks play the Canucks on Wednesday. It sounds like James Reimer is progressing and is kind of targeting Friday's game against the Ducks to get back in it. We'll see, because again, the Sharks have a little bit of a lull in their schedule now that after playing such a kind of compacted schedule the first 2 months. December, it kind of lightens up for them. So, because they play Wednesday, they play Friday, then they don't play again until Tuesday. So again, if Mäkiniemi can maybe hold down the fort a little bit longer, that way James Reimer can fully heal and get him back to where he's at. So Sharks also waived Evgeny Svechnikov. So I would be surprised if he gets claimed by somebody, but you never know, especially since he's got a goal, I think, on the season. So he'll be assigned to the Barracuda, assuming that he clears through waivers. You'll know about 11 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. But yeah, expect him to be on the Barracuda. Barracuda don't play again until Friday. So again, both teams, little bit of a break here for both teams. Matt Nieto, origins unknown. He was placed on IR after the hit he received in the Sabres game. I believe that was Dahlen hit him. So Nieto's going to be out for a week here or so. Nico Sturm is back to practicing. He's got to clear the final kind of test before he can fully rejoin the team, but he is back to practicing. That's usually, again, with concussions, it's okay, you practice and you ramp up, and then the next day you see how you feel after the ramping up period. So tomorrow will be, if he's back at practice tomorrow, then I would expect him to play in the game on Wednesday against the Canucks. So again, the hope is with these concussions, right, you want to be 100% sure, because sometimes you see those symptoms, they show up a little bit later. So again, part of the protocol usually is you do a little bit, okay, shut it down, see how you feel the next day, Okay, you feel good. All right, let's a little bit more. Okay, stop. Let's see how we feel the next day, type of thing. So that's usually how it goes with concussions and getting players back on track. So that's going to make and then Alexander Barabanov wasn't at practice on Tuesday. I guess he was there for a little bit before the media got there, but then left practice pretty quickly. So we will see. Per Shang Peng, here were the lines at practice. Hold your nose, kids. Timo Meier, Tomas Hertl, Kevin LeBanc. Cool. Nick Bonito, Logan Couture, Noah Gregor, Luke Cunnin, Nico Sturm, Evgeny Svechnikov. Again, Svechnikov was sent down, so we'll see what they would do there. If I would assume they would, if they have to bring him out, we'll see what happens. So Gadovich, Lindblom, and Cease on the fourth line. Magna, Carlson, Vlasic, Benning, Harrington, Shimmick. So I wonder if Cicek might be press box for this game as well. So yeah, Kaapo Kähkönen is starting again. Eetu Mäkiniemi will be the backup. So let's look at the Canucks, who are coming off a 6-5 or 7-6. I think it was 7-6 overtime win against the Habs the other night. More insane games. Let's do it. All right, last game. Here's how they lined up: Niels Hoglander, Bo Horvat, JT Miller, Ilya Mikchik, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Andre Kuzmenko, Sheldon Dries, Connor Garland, Jack Studnicka, Niels Amen, and Curtis Lazar. On the defense, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Ethan Bear, Quinn Hughes, Luke Shen, Riley Stillman, Tyler Myers, and then in net, Spencer Martin and Colin Delia. They're dealing with some injuries. That Demko, who's their amazing goalie, he is out right now. Tanner Pearsons, Travis Dermott, Tucker Pullman, also on IR, and then Dakota Johnson is day-to-day as well. So, yeah, the goaltending matchup is yeah. So I assume Spencer Martin will probably start this game, especially because they're coming off a couple days rest here. So for the Sharks so we'll have the Kaapo Kähkönen and Spencer Martin goalie duel that we've all envisioned. So before we continue, and then we kind of look at how these teams match up and then get into what I'm looking for in this game and give my prediction of what I think is going to happen. Let's take a quick break. Talk to you guys about our friends over at BetOnline. Today's episode is sponsored by BetOnline. BetOnline's get your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Got the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. You have football. Bowl season is here. You got the push for the playoffs in the NFL. Basketball, college basketball, soccer, World Cup right now. Esports, everything you need over at betonline.net. If you love sports podcasts, you can find those over at BetOnline as well. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix in. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, so the Sharks-Canucks met a couple weeks ago, right after Thanksgiving, where the Canucks won 4-3. That was kind of right in the James Reimer is hurt, beginning of the James Reimer is hurt era. And I kind of expect a lot of goals. I know the Sharks are potentially missing some guys in the forward department, and Barabanov is huge. If Barabanov doesn't play, that really kind of, I think, limits the Sharks. But I think there's going to be a ton of scoring in this game. So let's see how these two teams compare. So Canucks and Sharks, 5-on-5 goals for their Canucks are ranked 9th. So the Sharks are ranked 15th. Again, both bring the offense and leave the defense to be desired. 5-on-5 expected goals for Canucks ranked 25th. The Sharks ranked 23rd. So the Canucks are doing a better job of scoring because their shooting percentage is one of the top in the league. I believe they are at 5-on-5. They are third in the league in the shooting percentage at 9.42%. So they don't generate a lot of offense, but they score. So Corsi for Canucks are ranked 25th, Sharks are ranked 24th. Power play goals, Canucks are ranked 7th, again with that offense. Sharks are ranked 17th in actual goals. And then finishing, again, that their shooting percentage. Canucks are ranked 2nd, Sharks are ranked 22nd. So Canucks, they don't generate a lot of offense, but they're lethal when they do. So defensively, 5-on-5 goals against Canucks, 29th, Sharks 30th. Bring on the goals in this game. 5-on-5 goals against Canucks ranked 31st, Sharks ranked 16th for expected goals. Sorry, 5-on-5 Corsi, Canucks ranked 20th, Sharks ranked 24th. So both these teams like to give up a lot of shot attempts. PK, Canucks 29th, Sharks first, even though they had a terrible weekend on the penalty kill. Sharks PK is still the first in the league. So it's going to be a big matchup of the Canucks power play versus the Sharks penalty kill. Goaltending, Canucks ranked 30th, Sharks ranked 25th. So, and that's even worse right now without James Reimer. So, yes, let's look at the offense here. So, again, both these teams are, I know the Sharks numbers don't look, if you throw away the October and focus more on November with the Sharks where their offense was much better, this is going to be an offensive game where both teams, I think, are going to score, especially with the goaltending matchups that we're probably going to get. Goals for Canucks 2.8, Sharks 2.5. Expected goals for 2.4 to 2.5. So Canucks are kind of, again, out shooting what they're expected, while the Sharks are kind of right there where they're at. Power play percentage, so the Canucks 27%, while the Sharks are at 21%. So we've seen that Sharks number start to rise, and I think the Sharks power play is kind of better than that number. And as the season goes on, I think we'll see that number kind of stabilize. Probably, I think, top half of the league for the Sharks with their power play. So defense, none to be found. Erica, over at Locked On Kraken, I hope you do not watch this game. Erica loves herself some defense. This is not the game to watch if you like defense, because both these teams stink at defense. So yeah, let's get the goals going to this game. If you're gonna lose, at least score a bunch of goals and have a good time doing it. So that's the motto for both these teams. So yeah, Sharks actually have the slight advantage defensively. Expected goals allowed, they're a little bit better than the Canucks. They're at 2.7, ranked 16th. The Canucks are at 3.0 expected goals allowed. Actual goals allowed is 3.2 to 3.1. So it's where both their goaltending has really let them down this year. Play driving. So this will be interesting to see which team can kind of set the tone, because both these teams are both kind of similar, where neither one of them takes a lot of shots. The Sharks are much better at kind of creating those high danger chances. That's how their offense is kind of based, while the Canucks are more of the quality over quantity. Like their shooting percentage is much higher than kind of the rest of the league, because they go for those kind of quality shots over the quantity, while the Sharks are create high danger, and their shooting percentage is a little bit lower, but still. All right, so kind of looking at some other kind of big picture things for this team, for both these teams again. So I think their goals for per game, well, the Sharks, this number has been kind of steadily increasing, especially in November. The Canucks, they can score, right? That's kind of how they've gotten here, and especially over the past 10 games, the Canucks are 7-3 over the past 10 games, while the Sharks are 2-7-1 during that time. So the Canucks are just kind of scoring their way out of their problems right now. And they are, that's just kind of what they're doing right now to solve their problems. So yeah, Canucks are ranked 8th at 3.5 goals per game, while the Sharks are at 2.89, ranked 23rd. Goals allowed, though, 3.85 to 3.57. Slight favor for the Sharks there. And then the woeful penalty kill. So I think that's going to be a big matchup for these teams. Is if the Sharks power play can get something going, you think their penalty kill is the Sharks penalty kill is going to be a big focus, especially after the weekend here. So if the Sharks penalty kill can limit the power play of the Canucks, it's going to be a big edge for the Sharks there. And I expect them to be very tentative to their penalty kills. Like I said, especially they had a very, very bad weekend. That was kind of the first bad weekend from the Sharks penalty kill. So I expect that to be a big focus for the Sharks in this game. So yes, goaltending matchup, Kaapo Kähkönen versus Martin. Martin numbers aren't super great, but the record, again, the Canucks are just basically kind of outscoring their problems right now. Martin's 7-2-1, 337 goals against and an 892 save percentage. Kaapo Kähkönen 3-6-2, 357 goals against an 882 save percentage. So this game kind of leads me to believe that there's, especially with how poor both these defenses are and both goaltenders with a sub 900 save percentage, I think there's going to be a lots of goals, and especially the Canucks who just scored 7 the other night, and the Sharks who are no stranger to kind of scoring as well. They easily can put up 3 or 4 themselves. So I think there's going to be a ton of goals in this game. So before we finish up and look at the things I'm looking for and give my prediction for this game, which I think you guys are going to already know where I'm heading with this. Do want to let you guys know about the Locked On Sports Today podcast. Thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, of course. For your second listen, go check out the Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories of sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. All right, how do we think this works out? I think, like I said, I think there's a ton of goals scored. And Barabanov being out, though, does give me pause. Because especially on that second line, we've seen the Couture Barabanov. The Barabanov plays, I think the Sharks can put together 2 competent lines. And if Nico Sturm is on the third line and Nick Bonito doesn't have to center the third line, I think Nick Bonito can slide up and play the kind of Matt Nieto type role and let Couture and Barabanov do a lot of the work on the second line. Again, hoping Barabanov plays. But Nico Sturm can slide in there and help solidify that third line. We'll see what happens with the fourth line there. But anyway, that's I think those 2 lines are enough for the Sharks, and I just think there's going to be a lot of goals scored. So I want to see the kind of big thing. I want to see the Hurdle Timo line get back on track. They've coupled down games recently. I know Hurdle scored 2 goals against the Sens, but that line's been kind of getting outplayed recently, where they're not generating the shot chances that they normally do, not generating the scoring chances that they normally do. So, I really want to see them kind of get their game going again, like we have grown accustomed to these guys doing so. And we know Timo and Hurdle, like those guys are going to go through lulls, as they do, unfortunately. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But would be good to kind of see these guys get back to kind of get things going again. So last time they played, the LeBanc Hurdle Meier line played over 13 minutes and they had 12 shot attempts compared to 9. Actual shots was 8-3. So they did a good job of producing those. They did give up a little bit more scoring chances. They were, 3-7 there, but I think this could be a good game for them to kind of get back on track here, especially after a couple days off. So I wanted to see how the Hurdle, Meier, LeBanc combination, how they respond, especially after what's been kind of a couple down games from them. So second thing, again, if Barabanov plays, I feel good about the second line. If he doesn't play, where does some more offense come from him if it's not from the Logan Couture line that we've seen him be able to kind of produce offense from? So again, I assume if Barabanov plays, I assume Cunnin's going to play on the third line. That what we've seen. If not, having Cunnin on your second line, because we've Benito Couture Cunnin just doesn't really do it for me. I don't think it does it really for the Sharks, but where can the Sharks get some other offense? That way it's not just Hurdle Meier. But Barabanov, we've seen how crucial he's been to the Couture success, especially over the last month when they've been paired together. So, and then can somebody make a save, right? Whoever wins this game is going to be the goalie who can make a crucial save, because this feel, especially if Barabanov plays, this feels very much like a 5-4 type of game where both teams are going to generate a lot of chances. Yeah, whichever defense can kind of make that crucial stop or make that crucial save, I think is going to go a long way into winning this game. So, and then of course, finally the special teams battle, right? The Sharks penalty kill got their butts kicked this weekend against some very, very good power play teams. The Canucks power play also very, very good. Can they kind of respond? Just like, that was a bad weekend. This is who our penalty kill really is. Or is this kind of the cracks to the foundation that I talked about on Monday's episode of, okay, this penalty kill, it's been taxed too much. It's been asked too much. And now we're starting to see some of the cracks with it. So how does the penalty kill respond to this very, very, very good Canucks power play? So those are kind of the things that I am looking for. I got the Canucks winning though 5-4. I just think they have too many weapons offensively right now, especially compared to the Sharks. And if Barabanov isn't playing, then it's going to be like a 5-2 type of game. I think Barabanov is that important for the Sharks right now as they try to generate offense. So give me Timo time. He's been a little quiet recently. Give me Timo time tonight. Give me Erik Karlsson scoring as well. But yeah, I got 5-4 Canucks with, especially if Barabanov is playing. So my expectation is he's probably playing, and we see Nico Sturm in. But that's what I got. So we'll have a full breakdown of the game wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, all those places. So that'll be out right after the game. And then you can follow me on Twitter at myfryhole. I'll be doing clips, of course, of the game. And then follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Listen, Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, all those places. Watch on YouTube. And until tomorrow, bye, friends.